You know, the retealing process in Nigeria is not only reassuring, but raises hair strands. Scores of pro-democracy demonstrators threw their weight behind the Minister of the FCT, Nyesom Wike, over his threat of demolition of illegal structures in Abuja. They insist that the former River State helmsman was merely assuring Nigerians that he would follow due process. Of course, the protesters have a terse word for the new ministers: deliver or resign. Emeka, you heard that?
Yeah.
What the Americans mean by shipping or ship out.
Yes. Well, the FCT minister, I think he started on a bullish note on his first day in office. But
not surprising.
The people, well, I think he needs to learn politics more by subterfuge than by just shooting from the hips at all times. Because when you show your hand too early, you make it easy for your opponents and people to fail to read you and prepare very well to wreck your ship. We've seen it happen many times. I think, yes, he did well by coming out to talk about trying to restore the master plan of Abuja. Almost every minister of the FCT has come out to say that. But the people have responded, the residents of Abuja, the natives have said, that the grinding poverty in the FCT, particularly in the satellite towns, should be his priority, not about demolishing houses, but ensuring there's potable water, there's roads, there's security, and that the standard of living of the average people living inside Abuja, in fact the entire FCT, gets improved. So if his focus is only on just demolishing houses, then it means he has not come to do anything differently from past ministers.
No, I'm not puncturing any hole in the balloon you are flying, but in the light of what happened not too long ago in the Federal Capital Territory, where people built on unauthorized land.
Yeah, that was it not the Trademore Estate or something?
Yeah.
Where it flood. Yeah, but those people actually have gone to court. They've held protests to say that
the plots were duly allotted.
But you see, that is a national problem. It's not just about the FCT. You find the corruption in land allocation is mind-boggling all over the nation. There's nowhere any structure, except maybe in the deep interior, there's nowhere around the urban centers, the cities, that people put up structures without government officials knowing about it. They collect bribes, they issue approvals, but they turn around to say they don't know about the construction of such buildings.
Yeah.
So it's not just about threatening those people. How about, you see, like somebody once said, you know, there was a joke many years ago that Nigerians keep talking about removing the bad eggs, getting rid of the bad eggs. What about the chicken that continues to lay those bad eggs? Why don't we try to put the chicken out of business?
Or for that matter, the father of the chicken.
Of course, fine. So you see this. You see, it's a longer, longer thread. Yes.
All right, Emeka. Asukwa James is ready for us at Abuja. Asukwa, good afternoon to you. How do you do?
Good evening, Citizen.
Yeah,
I'm okay.
Okay, you are in the thick of things. You know, I'm sure you are familiar with what we're discussing. The new minister of the FCT is coming with a new broom, and Emeka believes it's initial gra-gra.
Yes.
What's your reaction? What's your reaction here, please? Yeah, are you there? Can you hear me, Sukwo? Okay, we have trouble establishing a link, but we'll try to go back to him. But it doesn't say, I call it a retooling process. Now the country is trying to retool. It is not a bad idea to give Abuja its befitting status.
Of course. That's the meaning Nigeria, the Federal Capital Territory. Unfortunately, under the former minister, the standard in Abuja really fell abysmally. Cows, cows roaming, all over, grazing openly in Abuja, insecurity, people being kidnapped from their homes, and general insecurity, even right inside the nation's capital.
Yeah, Emeka, sorry, happily, we can re-establish contact with Asukwa. Yeah, brother Asukwa, I greet you again.
Yes. Yeah, I think a call was trying to come in, so
all right.
That is technology for you.
Okay, well, we're talking about the new Minister of the FCT who is coming with a new broom. Are you scared, as Emeka is somehow here?
I reside in Lagos, so it's only the people that in Abuja that will be scared. So far, so good. At least since I came into Abuja, I've spoken with a couple of people. It has been a sort of mixed feelings, Some are really happy that he has hit the ground running, like every other minister, apart from maybe a few, one or two. But the scary part is the demolition, and some of them are already saying that the demolition is centered around the poor, which I feel that is something that we can communicate more on why he wants to demolish. Because sometimes we make promises about demolishing shanties and unapproved structure, but when you don't make provision for alternative, it becomes a big problem. So you cannot solve one problem and then you open up another problem. So that is where the minister is supposed to look at and see how we can, make alternative. But before going ahead with the demolition, we can give notices to people, because I feel that most of those shanties are not originally planned to be there. Because maybe it's a temporary site of some sort. Like, for instance, the Jurumi, IDP camp, which is one of the places that has been marked for demolition. I gathered that it was actually meant for IDPs from Borno State, from maybe during the war in the Northeast. So it's something that he can sit down, look at all these places and see the ones that need to go down, and not just outright about maybe 60 or 80 shanties all at once. Because we think if we start to demolish now, when I can tell you for free, most of them will start moving into town. Most of those people who don't have houses will turn to beggars in Abuja, and it becomes a bigger problem. So insecurity will be on the rise. So he has to think through it in terms of demolishing these shanties or these illegal structures, and look at how we can create alternatives. We can create alternatives first before demolishing. But first, he has to communicate his programs to people. We have to communicate the programs to the people so that they will be able to understand, okay, this is where it's going. If he has a plan of where XYZ house or XYZ drainage was supposed to pass and they are building on it, he has to communicate, he has to talk to them. You can't just go outrightly and begin to demolish. We are hopeful that things will get better in FCT. But for one, I would like a situation whereby it does not center only in the Amak area. Abuja has a clue about 6 or thereabout.
6 area council, council areas.
So we have Bangolada, we have Abaji, we have Buhari, we have Kwali, we have, so he can extend whatever development he wants to, across those other local governments, so that the major town, which is the Asoko and the Kintama, can be free from so many people or influx of shanties like he wants to demolish. If, for instance, he can easily get a place very close to, Amak, going to Abaji, for instance, acquiring land there, building.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Asoko, we'll get back to you. But back in Lagos here, Emeka, we were there before. Obasanjo's first FCT minister was the immediate past chief executive of Kaduna State, Nasir El-Rufai. He undertook to demolish high-rise buildings belonging to big peoples. It was this same hue and cry.
But he was also accused of reallocating some of those seized plots to friends and cronies. You see, the thing about Abuja is that there are a lot of interests, powerful interests involved in the distortion of the Abuja master plan. So it's not just something you dive in like a paratrooper and you start firing on all fronts.
Yeah.
You have to study it very well. And Abuja is supposed to be something like a mega city, just like Lagos and Ogun are supposed to be a mega city. But you see, that has not happened. Abuja is supposed to actually, the FCT is supposed to actually move in different directions. Now, those satellite towns moving in different directions. So we have a housing deficit in Nigeria. By the time you keep demolishing and demolishing, you are increasing the number of homeless people. Then
Emeka,
why not upgrade?
You want to counterbalance that.
Yes.
The fact that Nigerians have a propensity to be headstrong.
Are their leaders better? The fish gets rotten from the head. If our leaders show good example, like I talked about, the officials who give these approvals and turn around to say they don't know anything about it. If the leaders show good example, I don't think Nigerians will do anything differently. So the point I'm trying to make is some of these areas perhaps can be upgraded. Because we have a housing deficit in Nigeria. Government is trying to bridge that housing deficit. And then you see chief executives in the states.
There must be an element of planning about everything.
Yes, there must be. But how many people have been, for instance, prosecuted for colluding with developers to distort master plans in any place? How many people? You just hear about demolitions, but the same government officials who keep benefiting from the distortion of this master plan, they just remain in office. Nothing happens to them. So if you also use some people as an example, then you will show the public that you mean business.
Emeka, we keep crying ourselves hoarse because we hardly punish bad behavior.
That is it, and impunity reigns.
Oh yeah. But Emeka, let's join another colleague, Kola Wale Johnson. Kola, I greet you. Good evening, welcome.
Thank you, Grandpa.
Thank you. So the FCT minister, like a new kid on the block, is coming with a new broom. Are you surprised?
Certainly, you'll expect Governor Wike to perform. There is no, alternative to that for him. Though he came and he was trying to, sound tough, but of course he knows that he's got his job, cut out for him too. I said this before, that the very last time we had a working minister in FCT was when we had Malam Nasir El-Rufai. It would be good to see a working minister again. I know that Wike is called Mr. Project. However, I will certainly suggest that he will need to listen to the bureaucrats. He will need to listen to technocrats, professionals. And again, knowing well that he's no longer in Port Harcourt. You have he's now at the media center. Lagos, Abuja is there. So whatever he says will be taken out of context a lot of times, and it is too early for him to start with any controversy. However, take it or leave it. Professionals will tell you that many of the reasons, or part of the reasons, why while you have, flawed, ravaging different communities and areas, it is because master plans are not respected. You have, of course, block drainage, but more importantly, it's because people are building where they should not build, and master plans, especially in the case of FCT, have not been respected as they should. So you'll expect that for the sanity of the city to come, to play again, there will these structures, these illegal structures, these unapproved structures, these structures standing against the master plan may need to go down. Not necessarily because the government wants to put the people, on the edge, but because we need to respect the plan of the city. Else, all of us will suffer from it. See, sometimes back, it was insecurity. We were shouting that the government, would need to rise to the occasion to ensure the right things are done. The same thing right now. You have some weeks back, you have, an estate in Abuja practically, taken off by flood. If you don't correct the things that have gone wrong thus far, we'll continue to have cases like that, and it won't stop where we have seen them. It will go around the city. So the minister is, of course, it's not out of context by saying that we will need to restore the master plan of the city. It was, however, how he put it, that was the issue. I think so.
Thank you, Kola Wale. We'll get back to you. But Emeka, quickly, the protesters are also having a test word for ministers. Perform or get out.
Yeah, that's the expectation. But they should also have a word for the National Assembly, which has oversight of those ministers. The National Assembly should do its duty very well. They should not just sit there enjoying the cozy atmosphere in the National Assembly, in the chambers of the National Assembly. They should do their oversight functions properly, because we find that there's a huge gap in terms of service delivery, because those who are supposed to ask the relevant questions do not do so. They just go on visits to these agents, these MDAs, and close their eyes to clear breaches of the law. Look at the embarrassment in the Federal Character Commission. Look at the issue of illegal recruitment. Yeah. All these things have been there, but successive national assemblies have not done anything. But I think this time there must be a sea change.
After all, Emeka, to whom much is given, much is expected.
Yes.